So guys, this is Greg Saunders with GJS Capital Ventures in beautiful Austin, Texas. Wanting to try something a little bit different today. Rather than doing my screen video and uploading it, I'm using Periscope for the first time. So if the cell phone falls over, it's because we're using a cheap little iPod or a tripod that I picked up. So here is the note that we just picked up this week. It is an asset value of about 2.4 million, and the majority of them I would pass on. There's about 15, but I wanted to go through the entire tape and kind of break down what we're looking at. Now, if you look on the bottom, you'll see a lot of these are higher interest rate loans. So my suggestion just right off the bat is going in and trying to do modifications on them. The equity spread on the sample that I did throughout didn't have much of an equity spread. So the foreclosing and REO option isn't going to be the most viable. Now, if we did go that route, then in Texas, this one in Houston is my favorite. It's got a principal balance of about $34,000. The property itself is worth in the 70s to 80s. I would suggest going in on this one even towards the $10,000 range would make a bit of sense. Again, with a 10.75% interest rate, that gives us a lot of leeway to come in and modify. You know, interest rates right now on a 30-year fix are closer to 3.87 as of on Friday. As you can see, it's Saturday today. So if this is at a 10.75 on a fixed, we can come in there and take care of the current owners pretty easily. Now, this other one off of Dallas, and this is the reason why I didn't like it as much. If we take a look at the location of the property, I mean, you're outside of the inner loop, but at $41,000 and a PI of $366. I mean, the interest rate is nice. We would be able to come in, modify that pretty easily, but I would like to see a little bit higher on the PI payment. So let's back on out. Now, the other state that had caught my attention was actually Florida, but let's go up to Ohio. So here we've got about 7 assets in the Cleveland area and then another 5 in the Columbus. Now, with the developers that I know in the Columbus area, these would be ones that I would actually be looking more at going the REO route. Let's go ahead and zoom on in. So again, we have some that are closer into the city, which is nice for Columbus. And the lower principal balance rate is also really enticing. I mean, we'll see that a lot throughout the Midwest anyways, but when you're near a major metropolitan area, you know, not even Dayton because that's a smaller one, but your Chicago's, your Detroit's, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and then Columbus here, I like seeing, you know, $26,000 per property because the rents in those areas are much higher than that. So, getting out of the Columbus area, going back down to Florida, there's really only 3 that caught my attention in the immediate area. As you can see, I like the larger cities a bit more. Just a couple more options and more potential buyers if we have to go REO. That, we have the current principal balance of the $37,000. You know, the $379, it is a bit lower, but 10% interest rate. And then lastly, and if I can find Tampa, this one I'll have to pick up just so that I can go out and say hi to a couple of my friends. Being closer to downtown, I mean, it's all pretty close on the same as the other up in Jacksonville. You know, 21,000, 371 is your PI, and then an interest rate of 9.03. So on this particular set, what I was suggesting to my other investors is I was going to modify the list of 78 some odd properties, down to 8 that had caught my attention. It's going to be an asset takedown of about 100 to 110,000, if that, and I will keep you guys updated. So let me know if you have any questions about